All right, get ready to dive into the fascinating world of behavioral economics, because today we're tackling Predictably Irrational by Ariely.
This book really challenges how we view ourselves as humans. Like, are we really as rational as we think?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we always like to think we're making logical choices.
Well, Ariely argues that while we think we're being logical, there are actually these predictable patterns in our irrationality.
Okay, so maybe not as logical as we think.
Right, exactly. And get this, it all starts with this idea of relativity.
Relativity.
Uh,
Like Einstein's theory.
Not quite, but it's the idea that we struggle to figure out what we really want until we see some options side by side.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like when you're trying to pick a vacation online, it's impossible until you narrow it down.
Exactly. Our brains love comparing things to figure out the value.
And then those sneaky decoys come into play.
Yes, decoys. Think of it like this. You're at a coffee shop,
Okay, I'm with you.
and they've got a medium size that's almost as much as the large. So you end up getting the large, even though you'd normally be fine with a small.
Yeah, suddenly the large seems like such a good deal.
It's like they're playing mind games with us.
In a way they are. It's all about shifting your perception of value.
So businesses are using this knowledge against us.
You could see it that way, but we can use it to our advantage too. Once you know about the decoy effect, you start to see it everywhere.
That's true. It's like a secret code now.
Exactly. Speaking of codes,
Oh, what's next?
let's talk about anchoring. This is where the first piece of info you see really messes with your judgment.
Wait, so like the first price tag you see?
Yeah, or even something random like Ariely did this experiment with social security numbers.
Okay, now this I gotta hear. People had to write down the last 2 digits of their social security number and then bid on stuff.
So like what, random items?
Yep. And the people with higher numbers, they bid way more.
Even though the social security number had nothing to do with it.
Exactly. It's crazy, right? That first number, it becomes an anchor in our minds.
It's like setting the bar without even realizing it.
Exactly. Think about salary negotiations. That first number thrown out there, huge.
Oh, wow, this is like a game changer for me. Got to think about those first offers now.
Totally. The anchoring effect is everywhere.
Okay, I'm seeing how predictable our irrationality can be. It's kind of scary.
But also fascinating, right? And wait till you hear about the power of free.
Oh, yeah, free stuff. Who doesn't love free?
Right, but there's a reason we fall for it so hard, even when it doesn't make sense.
I'm all ears.
So Ariely did this experiment with chocolate. People could choose a free one or a better one for a small price.
I'm guessing most went for the freebie.
You got it. The majority chose the free chocolate, even though the better one was only slightly more expensive.
It's like our brains shut down when they see the word free.
Totally. We overvalue it like crazy, even if it means spending more overall.
Oh, like when you spend an extra $10 to get free shipping?
Bingo, the free shipping trap. We've all been there.
So how do we avoid this free trap?
We need to realize that free is often a marketing tactic.
To get us to spend more.
Yeah, and then we got to ask ourselves, do we actually need this thing, or are we just excited about the free part?
Good point. So relativity, anchoring, and free. We're uncovering all these biases.
And we're just getting started. Up next, the battle between social norms and market norms.
Okay, so like, when is it okay to pay a friend for a favor?
Exactly. Think about offering your friend money to help you move.
That feels wrong somehow, right?
It is. You've just crossed a line from social norms to market norms.
So you're saying there are different sets of rules depending on the situation?
Absolutely. Social norms are about reciprocity, like helping each other out. Market norms are about transactions.
It's like speaking different languages almost.
Yeah, you got to know which language to speak or things get awkward.
Makes sense. This is giving me a whole new view on how I interact with people.
It's all about those unspoken rules and how even small things can change the whole dynamic.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here.
And we haven't even talked about how our emotions mess with our decisions.
Oh, yeah. Feelings getting in the way, that's a whole other can of worms.
Right. When we're all worked up, whether it's excitement or fear, our choices, they can go out the window.
So like impulse buys when you're feeling stressed.
Or maybe that extra slice of cake when you're down.
Guilty as charged. How do we fight those emotional urges?
Ariely says we got to recognize our emotions and maybe wait a bit before making a big decision.
It's like that cooling off period before you buy a house.
Exactly. Give yourself some space to think clearly.
This is starting to feel empowering, like we can actually take control of our choices.
That's the whole point. We're not just victims of our irrationality. We can understand it and work with it.
All right, before we get too deep into that, we got to talk about procrastination, the ultimate struggle.
Oh, yeah. Procrastination, that's where our present self battles our future self.
And present self usually wins, right?
Often, yeah. But Ariely has some tips.
Okay, lay it on me. Got to fight that procrastination monster.
Clear deadlines. Those are huge. Got to hold ourselves accountable.
And pre-committing, like booking that workout class in advance.
Exactly. Make it harder for our future selves to weasel out.
But even with good intentions, there's this endowment effect to deal with.
Ah, yes, the endowment effect. This one's a classic.
It's like those old clothes we can't get rid of.
Because we own them, right? Suddenly they're more valuable.
They have sentimental value, or at least that's what I tell myself.
And then there's the IKEA effect, kind of similar.
The IKEA effect, is that why I love my wonky bookshelf so much?
Maybe. We value things we've built, even if they're not perfect.
It's the effort we put in, I guess.
Exactly. So relativity, anchoring, free, social norms, emotions, procrastination, and the endowment effect.
Wow. That's a lot to process, but I'm starting to see a pattern here.
What pattern are you seeing?
It's like our decisions are rarely based on pure logic. There's all this other stuff going on under the surface.
You're getting it. Those emotions, biases, subconscious cues, they're all pulling the strings.
But now that we know about them, maybe we can start making smarter choices.
That's the hope. Awareness is the first step to change.
This is amazing stuff. I can't wait to see what else we uncover in part 2 of our deep dive.
Me too. Get ready for some even more fascinating insights from Predictably Irrational. Welcome back to our deep dive into Predictably Irrational. Are you ready to explore some more of the irrational side of human behavior?
I'm totally ready. In the last part, we covered so much ground, like from relativity to procrastination, but there's something that's been on my mind.
Oh, what's that?
Honesty. Like, we all consider ourselves honest people, right? But does Ariely think so?
Well, he definitely digs deep into the whole honesty thing and suggests it's not always so clear-cut.
I mean, it's got to be more complicated than just weighing the risks and rewards, right?
Way more. His research shows there's a whole bunch of stuff that influences how honest we are, like social norms, moral reminders, even how we pay for things.
Wait, how we pay? That's interesting. Tell me more.
So Ariely found that people are way more likely to cheat when it's not real money involved.
So like those loyalty points you get at the grocery store.
Exactly. Or tokens, or even those fake Monopoly dollars.
So it's easier to fudge things when it's not cold, hard cash.
Yeah, there's a psychological distance there that makes it easier to justify.
That makes sense. It's like it doesn't feel as real.
And then there's the power of moral reminders.
There are reminders.
Yeah, like even just signing an honor code before a test can make a difference.
Like a little nudge in the right direction.
Exactly, a little reminder of our values.
Okay, and what about the payment thing you mentioned? How does that work?
Well, Ariely found that paying with cash seems to make people more honest.
Really? Like more than credit cards?
It seems that way. He thinks the physical act of handing over cash makes us more aware of what we're doing.
So, like, if I'm tempted to steal a cookie from the jar, I should pay for it with cash.
Maybe. It's that extra bit of awareness that can make us think twice.
This is really making me think about my own choices. I never realized how much our environment influences our honesty.
It's a reminder that we're not always the rational, ethical beings we think we are. We're constantly influenced by our surroundings.
This is blowing my mind. So we've got relativity, anchoring, free stuff, social norms, emotions, procrastination, the endowment effect, and now honesty. It's like Ariely is giving us this roadmap to all the ways we're irrational.
He is, and get ready, because this roadmap is about to take a detour into the land of dating and relationships.
Ooh, the irrationality of love. I'm intrigued.
Get ready for some unconventional dating advice, because Ariely challenges a lot of those traditional rules.
Okay, I'm all ears. Spill the beans.
Well, first off, he says we often mess up our chances of finding love by focusing too much on looks and narrowing down our options too quickly.
So you're saying I should ditch my online dating profile with all those specific requirements?
It might not be a bad idea. By clinging to this idea of the perfect partner, we could be missing out on someone amazing.
It's like we're blinded by our own expectations.
Exactly. Ariely says broaden your horizons, look for shared values and interests instead of just superficial stuff.
It's about the deeper connection, not just the initial spark.
Exactly. And another thing, he debunks the whole playing hard to get idea.
Wait, you're saying honesty is the best policy in dating too?
Yep. His research suggests being upfront about your feelings can actually increase your chances.
No more pretending to be uninterested. Just put it all out there.
That's the idea. Authenticity is key to forming genuine connections.
This is so refreshing. It's like all those dating games are just getting in the way.
They can be. Ariely reminds us to be ourselves and trust our instincts.
So let's say you found someone special and you're in that long-term relationship phase. Does Ariely have any advice on how to keep things going strong?
Absolutely. He stresses the importance of communication, appreciation, and shared experiences.
So it's about making that effort to keep the spark alive, even when life gets busy.
Exactly. Those little things make a huge difference.
Like, what, give me some examples.
Think little gifts, surprises, planning fun activities together, anything to break up the routine and show you care.
It's so easy to forget about that stuff when you're in the daily grind.
It is, but Ariely reminds us to be present and appreciate our partners.
It's about nurturing the relationship, not taking it for granted.
Exactly, and when conflict comes up, he says to approach it constructively.
Constructively, how do you do that?
It's about trying to understand your partner's point of view and finding solutions that work for both of you.
So, teamwork instead of butting heads.
That's it. Facing challenges together can actually make your bond stronger.
This is such an insightful way to look at relationships. It's like Ariely is showing us how our irrational tendencies play out in love, too.
He is. It's all connected. Those same forces are at work, whether we're choosing a product or a partner.
But the good news is, by understanding these forces, we can make more conscious choices in our relationships.
That's the key takeaway. Awareness is power.
This has been amazing. We've covered so much ground, from buying coffee to falling in love. But there's one last piece of the puzzle we need to explore.
It's social influence, right?
You got it. What insights does Ariely have about how other people shape our decisions?
So we're back and ready to wrap up our exploration of Ariely's Predictably Irrational. I don't know about you, but I'm still buzzing from all the insights we've uncovered about our less than rational selves.
Me too. It's kind of crazy to think how many of our decisions are driven by things we're not even aware of.
Right, like all those biases and subconscious cues we talked about.
But hey, now we're aware of them, so that's got to count for something, right?
Absolutely. Awareness is the first step to making more conscious choices. And that's what Ariely's all about, empowering us to understand our own minds.
Okay, so for this final part, we got to tackle the big one. Social influence. It's like the elephant in the room.
It is a big one. We've touched on social norms already, but Ariely takes it even further. He dives into how we're constantly influenced by what other people are doing and thinking.
Oh yeah, I'm totally guilty of that. Like when I see a product with a ton of 5-star reviews online.
Classic example of social proof. We look to others for guidance, especially when we're not sure what to do.
It's like our brains are wired to follow the crowd.
Well, from an evolutionary standpoint, it makes sense. Back in the day, if everyone was running from danger, you'd want to run too.
Makes sense. Safety in numbers and all that.
But these days, blindly following the crowd can get us into trouble.
True. So how do we resist that urge to conform when we know it might not be the best idea?
Ariely suggests surrounding ourselves with a good mix of people.
Like people who challenge us to think for ourselves.
Exactly. People who share our values, but also push us to question the status quo, that kind of healthy balance.
Finding your tribe, people who lift you up and encourage you to be your best self.
Exactly. That way we're less likely to get swept up in the whole conformity thing.
This is such good advice. It's making me rethink my whole social circle.
It's all about being mindful of who we spend our time with and how they influence us.
Right.
And speaking of influence...
You're going to talk about persuasion.
Right.
Right. That's the other biggie.
You got it. We're bombarded with persuasive messages every single day, ads, social media, you name it.
It's overwhelming sometimes. Like, how do we even know if we're making our own decisions anymore?
It's tough, but Ariely breaks down some of those sneaky persuasion tactics that marketers and influencers use.
Okay, I need to know this. Spill the tea.
Well, one big one is scarcity. When they make you think something's running out.
Or like those limited time offers that make you feel like you have to buy now or miss out.
Bingo, they're playing on our fear of missing out, makes us more impulsive.
It's like they know exactly how to push our buttons.
They do. And then there's social proof, which we talked about earlier.
The whole everybody's doing it thing.
Exactly. And they use testimonials, reviews, influencer endorsements, all to create that sense of social proof.
It's like peer pressure, but on a massive scale.
You could say that, but here's the good news. We can fight back against this stuff.
Okay, how do we do that?
We got to develop our critical thinking skills, ask ourselves, do I really need this thing, or am I just being swayed by all the hype?
It's like taking a step back and looking at the situation objectively.
Exactly. Don't let those external pressures dictate your choices. Make decisions that align with your own values and needs.
It's about being intentional with our choices.
That's the key takeaway from Predictably Irrational. It's not about being perfect. It's about understanding our imperfections.
It's like Ariely's giving us permission to be irrational, but in a smart way.
Exactly. We're all going to make irrational decisions. It's part of being human.
But now we have the tools to recognize those irrationalities and maybe even outsmart them sometime.
That's the goal, right? And as we wrap up our deep dive into Predictably Irrational, I want to leave you with this thought. The journey towards greater rationality, it's an ongoing process. There's always more to learn and uncover about ourselves and the amazing ways our brains work.
I love that. It's like we're all on this adventure of self-discovery and understanding our own minds.
Exactly. And I hope this deep dive has given you a few more tools for that journey.
Absolutely. This has been an incredible exploration of how our minds work and the hidden forces that shape our decisions. And you know what? I think I'm feeling a little more irrational, but a lot more empowered too.
That's the sweet spot, embracing our irrationality while learning to navigate it. And hey, maybe that's the true meaning of being predictably irrational.
I like that. Predictably irrational, but empowered. That's a good place to be. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Predictably Irrational. We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration of human behavior.